In the charming city of Filmora, anticipation was thick in the air as dawn prepared to shed his first light of the day. The streets buzzed with excitement, but inside Melody's whimsical home, the magic was just beginning. She tiptoed silently towards her little guy's room, her heart aflutter with mischief. Kneeling beside his bed, she softly blew into his ear, the gentle breath barely ruffling the covers. Was this a dream unfolding or a clever invitation for her son to awaken and embrace the day? As she whispered, "Today's the day," her words wove a tapestry of enchantment. The little guy stirred slowly, his sleepy eyes blinking against the morning light, capturing Melody's joyous gaze. "Miss Choctaw is coming to get you after school today," she revealed, her excitement palpable. The boy, still nestled in the warm cocoon of blankets, began to inch toward her, his curiosity piqued. Their eyes danced with shared secrets and anticipation, swirling together like clouds on a breezy day. Later on, as the bright cyan skylights of the school welcomed the little guy, the atmosphere was electric with the promise of adventure. There stood Mr. Cherokee, his welcoming presence radiating warmth, alongside Miss Choctaw, an embodiment of spirited energy. "Someone's here to see you," Mr. Cherokee announced, his voice ringing with delight. Without hesitation, Miss Choctaw scooped the boy into her arms, spinning him around with glee. The world around them faded momentarily, eclipsed by laughter. Realizing the importance of the moment, Mr. Cherokee pulled out his phone. "I definitely have to capture a photo of this," he exclaimed, snapping a memory that would twinkle in their minds forever. "This is a true memorable moment, one like no other," he remarked, his heart swelling with joy. Just then, the familiar sight of tiny, minuscule beads began to rain down, a serene sandstorm of sparkles enveloping the scene. Miss Choctaw's hair fluttered in the gentle breeze, entrapping some of the beads as if the universe itself conspired to stitch memories into this day. In that instant, time stood still, encapsulating the laughter, the warmth, and the connection that blossomed in Filmora, leaving traces of joy shimmering in the air. Each bead, a symbol of joy, danced around them, forever cherishing the bond of childlike wonder and the beautiful moments shared between friends. Life, after all, is a collection of such ethereal memories, waiting to be embraced. In a vibrant school filled with laughter and learning, Ms. Choctaw slowed her enthusiastic spin, allowing for a moment of reflection. Melody's little guy, once lost in the whirlwind of activity, had finally regained his senses. As he ambled through the bustling halls, he noticed something captivating. The bright blue lights festooning the doorways, each glow drawing him closer to a sense of wonder. Curiously, he paused near a classroom door, especially one decorated with the whimsical minuscule bee generating turkey, pondering who could have adorned the school in such a dazzling display. His mind raced with possibilities. Could it be Mrs. Trunchbull, known for her newfound determination and surprising creativity? Just then, as he approached Sarah's room, he couldn't help but notice the same enchanting blue illumination framing her door. The shimmering lights seemed almost consciously aligned with the walls of the school, as if Miss Trunchbull had woven a spell of connectivity within her installations. Each light radiated a warmth that was both inviting and magical. Amid his musings, Mr. Cherokee made his customary rounds, visiting each classroom with an air of authority and enthusiasm. With a genial smile, he addressed the curious students, saying, "If you are all wondering about these new bright blue lights, I had Ms. Trunchbull come in and add some more to our school. It's a brilliant change that enhances our skylights." The connection between the bright cyan skylights and the luminous blue lights created an ambiance that seemed to uplift the very spirit of the institution, beckoning creativity and inspiration from every corner. But the mystery of how Mrs. Trunchbull managed to install them lingered in the air like an unanswered question. Then he revealed that with the city's enchanting magic, she had ventured into an artful installation, making intricate connections between the walls and the lights. Suddenly, as if on cue, minuscule beads began to pour out of Mr. Turkey's classroom, sparkling and reflecting the blue lights with an intensity that could rival the sun itself or mimic the brightness of fireworks lighting up the night sky. Captivated, Melody's little guy focused intently on his lessons about colors and the fascinating transformation of Mrs. Trunchbull, all thanks to Sarah's enchanting stories. A question lingered in his mind. Where did the phenomenon of the minuscule beads originate? Observing with wide eyes, he soon realized that the answer resided within the very walls of their beloved school. Sarah, with a warm smile, leaned in closer, excitedly revealing, "That's actually something I plan to teach you. The origin of the minuscule beads takes us on a delightful journey that unfolds in this very place." As the day unfolded within the vibrant walls of the school, a palpable sense of curiosity rippled through the hallways. Mr. Turkey, with his excitement bubbling over, had just received an intriguing revelation from Mr. Cherokee. The air became laden with anticipation as he prepared to share this news with his eager students, somewhat akin to a Scottish fern supper. He placed a slow tune on the stereo, one echoed by the majestic tones of the great Highland bagpipes, a far cry from the lively notes of his Scottish small pipes. As the soulful melodies floated through the corridors, they found their way to Sarah, who was stationed across the hall. Each note struck a chord within her, heralding where the enchanting sound was originating from, the enigmatic bagpipe-playing Turkey. When the school bell chimed, officially marking the closure of the day's activities, a brilliant blue light saturated the entrance, beckoning to the curious children waiting to leave. It mirrored the glow that had connected the little guy and Miss Trunchbull, rekindling their shared experience with a comforting yet vibrant luminescence. Wandering through the hall, with sunlight pouring through skylights and illuminating the space in brilliant cyan, Mr. Cherokee's attention was caught by the little figure, prompting him to wave and smile. He called out, inviting the little fella, who had grown to be quite charming in his own right, to join him near the office entrance, where the inviting blue lights shone brightly. As they waited together, an intriguing woman entered their midst. She appeared to be in her 30s, with a striking familiarity that stirred memories, yet remained elusive. Mr. Cherokee was drawn to her, curiosity piqued, and approached her with a friendly inquiry. The woman revealed herself as Miss Jenna, an advocate for early childhood education, speaking of a different approach compared to the calming designs Mr. Cherokee admired. Their dialogue danced around colors, the brilliance and vibrancy of their respective philosophies. Mr. Cherokee expressed his love for the soothing blue lights while Miss Jenna shared her preference for brightness, a conversation blossoming under the playful cadence of their exchanges. As they discussed their roles in the community and the needs of their students, it became clear that while their methods differed, their intentions were harmoniously aligned, reflecting an unmistakable dedication to nurturing young minds. In the vibrant atmosphere of Mr. Cherokee's office, a bright blue light enveloped Melody's little guy, casting a serene glow that contrasted sharply with the tension in the room. This light symbolized not just his innocence but also his budding relationship with Miss Trunchbull, whose strict demeanor was slowly giving way to more compassionate connections. Mr. Cherokee, deeply invested in unraveling the enigma surrounding Miss Jenna, found himself navigating an intricate web of relationships, each more complex than the last. As the conversation unfolded, the air buzzed with unspoken feelings, reminiscent of the emotional storms that whirled around amidst the laughter and lessons of early childhood education. Miss Jenna's laughter echoed in the office as she recounted her teaching philosophy, proudly asserting her belief in strictness mingled with connection. Her eyes sparkled with a fierce dedication as she spoke of a former colleague who had transformed from a rigid figure to a nurturing presence in the lives of her students. The juxtaposition of Miss Jenna's rigidity and her desire for connection painted a complicated picture, one that left Mr. Cherokee pondering the balance between discipline and empathy in teaching. As Melody's little guy beamed under the blue glow, his innocent smile served as a reminder of the joy that emerged when connections flourished, an irony that Miss Jenna grappled with even as she clung to her ideals. Suddenly, Miss Jenna noticed something in Melody's little guy's bag that sparked a sense of urgency within her. With a swift motion, she unzipped it, believing that too much connection could be detrimental. Her intent to extinguish what she deemed over-the-top excitement surfaced a hint of fear in the little one. As she mercilessly plucked away tokens of happiness, words flew, accusations were hurled, and the essence of connection thickened the atmosphere. It was then that Miss Choctaw, another figure woven into this intricate tapestry, arrived to witness the altercation. Her calm presence contrasted sharply with the tempest of emotions around them, and she confronted Miss Jenna's actions, focusing on the importance of allowing children's connections to blossom, rather than stifling them. In this charged setting, the idea of connection surfaced as a powerful theme, a lesson wrapped in color and light, whispering of the importance of nurturing relationships that inspire growth and understanding. In the bustling city of Filmora, under the overpowering glow of a nearly blinding blue light, Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy sat quietly near the entrance of Mr. Cherokee's office. The atmosphere was thick with tension as voices began to rise, the air buzzing with a sense of urgency and disruption. Mr. Cherokee's commanding tone broke through the chaos, firmly stating, "You have seriously crossed the line." His words echoed through the room, carrying the weight of authority. The stakes were high, and Mr. Cherokee wasn't one to yield easily. "We don't take kindly to actions that stifle happiness and connections in our community," he warned, drawing a vivid picture of consequences. The looming threat of the Chokey hovered like a storm cloud above Miss Jenna. Her smile, though faint, hinted at her indifference. "That is exactly what I want," she declared, challenging the norm and seeking something beyond mere discipline. Yet Mr. Cherokee was adamant, explaining that the Chokey she faced would not be one of ordinary confinement, but rather a spectacle shrouded in mysterious cyan lights. Cyan, a blend of blue and green, took on a life of its own in their conversation. Miss Jenna's curiosity stirred, leading her to question, "What is that, Mr.?" Cherokee elaborated, painting a surreal picture with his words, emphasizing the sensation of being enveloped by vibrant hues while being showered with minuscule beads propelled by unseen fans. The imagery sent shivers down her spine, creating a whirlwind of emotions within her. Meanwhile, Miss Choctaw patiently waited, keenly aware of the dynamic at play. Her mission was clear: to reclaim the bag and ensure all its contents were securely returned. Mr. Cherokee, stepping out briefly to retrieve the bag, examined each item with meticulous care. Melody's little guy watched, hoping dearly that his precious belongings would return to him unscathed. The vibrancy of the cyan lights contrasted starkly with the serious discussions at hand. After the bag had been returned, the conversation turned personal. "How did you discover our city's name?" Miss Jenna asked, a hint of embarrassment surfacing as she was reminded of her knowledge. Mr. Cherokee responded, "Congratulations, now you're part of it." She expressed her dislike for the city's moniker and the strictures it imposed on her job with children, revealing a deep-seated conflict within her. "I enjoy working with kids," she asserted, adding layers to their disagreement. Cherokee pointedly questioned her methods, reinforcing the city's founding principle: connections mattered. As the confrontation escalated, Miss Trunchbull entered, her presence adding a new layer of scrutiny to Miss Jenna's approach to teaching. "You see," she began with a smile, "in Filmora, stifling connections will land you in the Chokey." Her description painted a striking picture of what awaited those who defied their communal spirit. As the scene unfolded amid laughter and serious exchanges, the fate of Miss Jenna remained uncertain, her thoughts tangled with the colorful images of Filmora's unique, albeit strange, consequences. As Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy strolled away from the bustling school grounds, a magical scene unfolded. Tiny, minuscule beads of light swirled around them like stardust, an enchanting spectacle that hinted at the presence of Mr. Turkey, who was known to linger in the vicinity, always up to something mischievous. Upon reaching the comforting haven of home, Melody's little guy eagerly rummaged through his bag, fingers dancing over the contents until he unearthed a precious blue light gifted by the formidable Miss Trunchbull, known for her unique, dazzling taste. Settling by the window, his curiosity ignited, he directed the magical light outward, cranking the brightness dial to maximum intensity. Excitement bubbled within him as he crafted a sign that read, "Welcome to Miss Choctaw Cruncham Hall." With determination, he placed the sign in the window, the words shining brightly for all to see. The moment Mrs. Choctaw stepped outside, she was enveloped by the vibrant blue glow, a beacon of joyful mischief. When her eyes fell upon the sign, her laughter erupted like a joyful melody, a contagious sound that lit up the evening as she dashed inside, scooping up Melody's little guy for a spontaneous spin, exclaiming with glee, "I don't think I'm Miss Trunchbull." But of course Miss Trunchbull was already at home, boasting her own radiant blue porch light, one so bright it could rival the warm glow of the setting sun. Meanwhile, Ms. Choctaw and the little guy let the vibrant spirit take over, dancing energetically to a whimsical mix of Scottish bagpipe jigs intertwined with infectious Eurotech beats from the Venga Boys. Songs like "We Like to Party" filled the air, creating an atmosphere that vibrated with pure joy. But just as the fun peaked, an unexpected figure arrived at Miss Choctaw's door. This woman, bursting with energy, banged on the door, interrupting the cheerful chaos. "Too much energy, too much connection," she exclaimed before forcing her way inside. Everyone froze as she declared, "Let's tone the energy down." But Miss Choctaw remained blissfully unaware. Suddenly, switching the tune to something somber, the woman introduced a song by the High Kings singing, "Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company." Now the atmosphere shifted, weaving together the threads of laughter and reflection, reflecting the whimsical journey that unfolded from a simple blue light. As the somber notes of the song lingered in the air, Miss Choctaw felt a ripple of curiosity. Surrounding her was a sea of energy, and in it a pressing question surfaced. What were they doing here, enveloped by such melancholy? Just then, with a melodic whisper, a woman spoke up. "I work with kids," she said. "This song helps them relax during the day." Those words danced in Miss Choctaw's mind, sparking a flicker of recognition that soon evolved into an illuminating realization. It was Miss Jenna, stepping through the doors of her vibrant world. "But why are you here?" Miss Choctaw pressed, her brow furrowed at the thought of serenity invading their lively space. It was then that Miss Jenna explained her purpose, revealing the need to temper the exuberant atmosphere that defined Miss Choctaw's Crunchum Hall. As these words echoed, so did a familiar rhythm, urging Melody's little guy into an unexpected slump, muffled by the heavy soundscape. Driving by instinct, Miss Choctaw guided Miss Jenna back towards the exit, gently returning the somber tune that now unwrapped its poignant title, "The Parting Glass." In an instant, she revived the room with vibrant beats, unleashing an uplifting melody that coaxed her guests into a joyful dance, transforming their sanctuary. The sign in the window sparkled with the intent, "Welcome to Miss Choctaw's Crunchum Hall," a proud proclamation against the dimness of the earlier song. Meanwhile, Miss Trunchbull, on her leisurely walk, caught sight of the lively atmosphere from across the street. The bright blue glow of the light she had gifted to Melody's little guy danced against the window, illuminating the sign that brought forth a burst of laughter from her lips. "Not everything can be crunched from Hall," she mused, the playful jest echoing through the dim street. As Miss Choctaw swung open the door, the laughter spilled out, weaving together with joyous music. Miss Trunchbull, feeling the magnetic pull of happiness, asked to join the lively gathering, intrigued by the light-hearted spirit flowing through Miss Choctaw's abode. As their laughter intertwined with the exhilarating melodies, they danced freely, swept away by the joy that filled the air, united in the experience of music, laughter, and an unbreakable bond. In a whimsical space filled with laughter and vibrant music, Miss Trunchbull and Mrs. Choctaw found themselves swept away by Scottish bagpipe jigs and the energetic rhythms of Venga Boys' Eurotech. As they danced with Melody's little guy, joy radiated from their movements, a celebration of spontaneity and connection that felt alive in the air. With shared smiles and the infectious beats driving them, they lost themselves in a moment of sheer delight, creating a vivid tapestry of laughter and music that echoed throughout the room. Suddenly, the scene transformed as the playful notes of Aqua's Barbie Girl began to play. The familiar lyrics poured from Melody's little guy, igniting a wave of nostalgia in Miss Choctaw and Miss Trunchbull. "Hi there, Barbie. Hi, Ken," the little guy chimed, establishing a rhythm that was hard to resist. The spontaneity of the song quickly danced over them, turning their previous laughter into a whimsical frenzy of joy. The once serious atmosphere shifted, and for a moment, the burdens of the adult world faded away, forgotten under the carefree lyrics and upbeat melody. But just as exuberance filled the air, an abrupt halt came like a sudden gust of wind. A voice echoed with authority, cutting through the laughter, reminding them of boundaries and expectations. "Too much energy, too much connection," it admonished, drawing a line between joy and chaos. Melody's little guy, sensing the shift, withdrew into a corner, cloaked in shadows as the somber tones of the parting glass emerged from the speakers. Captured in a vivid daydream, he envisioned a colorful preschool, reminiscent of Miss Jenna's teachings, where chaos met discipline. He heard her voice ring in his head. "I work with kids and they know better than to do that," as vivid memories clashed with his unsullied merriment. The scene turned dark as confrontation brewed, Missy Choctaw's voice rising against Miss Jenna, underscoring the turmoil within the sacred space of laughter. Miss Jenna, steadfast in her beliefs of respect and discipline, prepared to leave, triggering feelings of confusion in the little guy, a child caught between the joy of music and the strictness of authority. With the door slamming shut, the echoes of songs lingered behind, weaving a complex tapestry of laughter, nostalgia, and the relentless quest for understanding in the hearts of those who danced. As the evening settled softly over Crunchum Hall, a wave of warmth and laughter enveloped Melody's little guy, Miss Trunchbull, and Miss Choctaw. The air was thick with remnants of the playful antics they had shared earlier, their faces aglow with amusement as they swapped stories and jokes. A gentle knock interrupted their merriment, announcing the arrival of Mr. Arapaho and Mr. Turkey, famed for their quirky competitions with minuscule beads. "Welcome to Crunchum Hall," Melody's little guy declared, a cheeky glint in his eyes invoking laughter from the others. Mr. Arapaho paused, scratching his head in faux confusion. "I thought Crunchum Hall was down that way," he queried, casting a curious glance around as Miss Trunchbull played coy, a smile on her lips. "Oh yes, but we were playing a joke," she admitted gleefully, revealing that Melody's little guy had decided to turn her home into their whimsical Crunchum Hall. The laughter echoed, bringing life to their gathering, as Miss Trunchbull altered the conversation. "Have you seen that woman teaching at the nearby preschool?" she asked, curiosity lighting her voice. "I heard she was challenging Mr. Cherokee after school today." Mr. Arapaho's eyes sparkled with recognition. "I've passed that preschool," he stated enthusiastically. "It's located right in the heart of town, a dazzling contrast to the cozy familiarity we share here." He rummaged through his pockets, pulling out a picture he had taken earlier. Could it be this woman standing by the sign city of Fillmora Preschool? His excitement brimmed over as he shared the colorful image, a vivid burst of community vibe captured in pixels. Meanwhile, Mr. Turkey busied himself, flinging minuscule beads across the floor, invoking another round of chuckles and admiration from the group. "I know her, but that building is unfamiliar to me," Miss Trunchbull admitted, her tone curious. "It must resonate with a different energy compared to the blue-lit halls we cherish. Indeed. I'm determined to explore this preschool and uncover the truth behind its allure," Mr. Arapaho declared, finding kinship in their shared curiosity. "The vibrant blue lights and cyan skylights differentiate our routes from theirs, sparking a sense of wonder," but Miss Trunchbull added, drawing the connection that Melody's little guy didn't attend this new school. The air grew charged with anticipation as they veered toward deeper conversations. In a world swirling with colors and laughter, the question arose, what truths lay hidden beneath the surface of the new preschool that dared challenge the norms they had come to adore? As the conversation unfolded, the dynamic shifted noticeably. Miss Trunchbull initiated a comparison of signature phrases, recognizing a stark contrast between her own and a newer, simpler approach. "My phrase used to be, 'My rules state,'" she reflected, noting the weight her words carried in the past. In sharp contrast, she then shared, "Her phrase consists of 4 simple words. I work with kids." It's a softer approach, she admitted, revealing a certain uncertainty about her own established methods. Mr. Arapaho listened intently, gradually piecing together the essence of this discussion. He mentioned, "I was in the heart of town and think I might have heard that woman you're describing." His expression signaled curiosity mixed with concern. He sensed a change in the air that this newcomer brought, notably more tension and a different emotion swirling among the townsfolk. Karen seized this moment to share her thoughts about the educational environment in Fillmora. Fillmora needs to allow families to make their choices. If Miss Jenna wants to include my little girls in her class, she should have that right. And if my girls feel uncomfortable, they'll find ways to address it, perhaps seeking her help to separate from unwanted distractions. Her passion for her children's well-being was evident in her declaration, Mr. Arapaho's skepticism about the situation ran deep. "Oh, now I'm really going to have to investigate Fillmore City Preschool. To know you're behind this, Karen, is beyond me." His tone hinted at underlying irritation, a desire to uncover the truth of the matter at hand. He pressed further, intrigued yet cautious about this newly formed establishment. "When did you first get in contact with Miss Jenna, Mr. Arapaho asked, a hint of suspicion lacing his inquiry. Karen replied, "I first reached out when looking for a fun school for my girls. Your establishment just didn't meet the needs I saw, so I utilized Fillmore logic to create a preschool right in the city's heart." Mr. Arapaho, unconvinced but intrigued, stated, "I'll still be investigating this preschool to reveal all its surprises." The air buzzed with anticipation as each figure contemplated the unfolding events around them, their minds reaching for clarity amongst the swirling emotions and shifting responsibilities. As the sunlight softly faded, Mr. Arapaho returned home, his mind swirling with thoughts about the intriguing details he uncovered about Fillmore City Preschool. That evening, Miss Choctaw and Melody's little one sat together, raveling through the implications of their day, music swirling around them as they played familiar bagpipe jigs and Eurotech beats. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation as they absorbed the latest news about the preschool that promised a nurturing environment for children. But Mr. Arapaho felt a tug of doubt in his gut as he recalled the slogan proclaiming, "Where entitlement thrives and kids get what they want, Mr." Arapaho's heart raced as he dropped a message to Miss Choctaw, revealing his concern about the preschool's ethos. The words "entitlement thrives" hung in the air, filling the room with an unsettling energy. In his research, he'd stumbled upon unsettling truths about how the school handled bullying. It seemed that if a child faced torment, intervention involved separating them, allowing the aggressor to escape immediate accountability. His mind turned to visions of bruised egos and unresolved conflicts, wondering what message this taught the youngsters about courage and standing up for one another in adversity. Meanwhile, Miss Choctaw prepared for the evening with thoughts of her own swirling like the melodies in the background. She pondered the phrase, "entitlement thrives," whispering it softly to herself, searching for its meaning as she remembered how Miss Trunchbull once insisted that her cakes represented unity, infused with a sense of endurance. Later that night, when Miss Trunchbull appeared bearing cakes adorned with colorful sprinkles resembling minuscule beads, the kitchen ignited with laughter. Melody's little boy pointed excitedly at the toppings, teasingly saying they were Mr. Turkey's beads, prompting Miss Choctaw to chuckle alongside them. As they started preparing the haggis, the sounds of bagpipes enveloped them, making the kitchen feel alive with cultural richness and shared joy. The preparation felt ceremonial, as if they weren't just making a dish, but crafting a shared moment draped in affection and tradition. Later that evening, their plates filled with haggis and Miss Trunchbull's unique cakes, the excitement was palpable as they relished in the sweetness that accompanied their savory meal. Meanwhile, Mr. Arapaho was in solitary anticipation, immersed in preparations for the preschool's open house, hoping to uncover whether it resembled the institution he had come to doubt, or if perhaps it truly fostered a more profound sense of community than he currently perceived. The evening rolled in like a soft blanket, wrapping the city of Fillmore in its wintry embrace as Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy prepared for their nightly ritual. It was a time of wonder, a moment to reflect on the day past and ponder the adventures that awaited them with the dawn. Miss Choctaw, seasoned in the art of nighttime comfort, spun around playfully, inviting Melody's little one to join in the dance of dreams. But hovering in the air was a sense of foreboding. What secrets would tomorrow unveil for Mr. Arapaho as he approached the preschool? As the moon cast its silvery glow overhead, allowing the shapes of the world to meld into a dreamy haze, Melody's little guy found his consciousness fading away into a colorful dreamscape. In this delightful reverie, he played the bagpipes joyously, his notes dancing with the air, until suddenly, Miss Jenna appeared, a curious figure in this playful world. With a sharp shout, she brought him back to reality, admonishing the echoing sounds that filled the night. "I work with kids, and they know better than to be loud like that," she exclaimed, the finality of her tone piercing the whimsical atmosphere. Dawn broke with a raw brilliance, illuminating the ordinary exterior of the preschool that masked the hidden secrets within Mr. Arapaho, filled with determination, stepped inside, expecting an inviting sanctuary for little minds to blossom. Yet what he encountered was a chaotic spectrum of colors devoid of serene ambiance, contrary to Miss Jenna's claims. As he observed, Mr. Arapaho couldn't help but envision the potential that lay untouched. Colorful skylights to bring natural light into every themed classroom could transform the oppressive atmosphere into a bright, nurturing environment. The absence of such simple beauties made his heart ache for the children who deserved more. As he ventured deeper, the atmosphere shifted ominously, especially when he reached the intimidating corners of Miss Jenna's classroom. Much like the infamous chokey of Miss Trunchbull, yet lacking its vicious edges, these two corners invited dread. Instead of offering refuge, they stood as ominous sentinels of control, closed doors that imprisoned children, allowing sight but denying escape. Was this the real Miss Jenna? A chill crept into his bones as he snapped photos of the unsettling corners to share with Miss Choctaw. Confusion clouded his mind. How could this be what the preschool stood for? The morning began to unfold with mysteries begging to be unraveled, and Mr. Arapaho was determined to uncover the truth. As dawn broke in Filmora City, the first rays of sunlight streamed into Miss Choctaw's cozy home, illuminating the room with a golden hue. Eager to share joy, she softly crept into the playroom where Melody's little boy lay sleeping. Kneeling beside him, she playfully blew gently in his ear, eliciting delightful giggles before switching to the other side, creating a symphony of small, sweet laughter that seemed to dance off the walls. Shortly after their morning ritual, a ping interrupted their blissums. Choctaw glanced at her phone and found several photos sent by Mr. Arapaho from the open house at the preschool. As she scrolled through the pictures, her brow furrowed slightly. Most of the classrooms appeared perfectly ordinary, a bright and cheerful space for learning. However, one striking image caught her eye. It was a photo of Miss Jenna's classroom adorned with the ominous caption, "Similar to the chokey, allowing sight but no escape." A chill ran down her spine as she pondered the implications of such a space. While Miss Choctaw contemplated the eerie comparison, Mr. Arapaho was busy sharing the same photos with Miss Trunchbull, who recalled her days as the principal of the infamous Crunchum Hall. Under her stern exterior, a desire for the betterment of the city flickered, battling the remnants of a more controlling ideology from her past. Meanwhile, Miss Choctaw and Melody's little boy were determined to embrace the day ahead, dreaming of adventures and laughter. They prepped for their outing, first indulging in a hearty Scottish haggis, complemented by the sweet addition of cake pieces complete with colorful, minuscule beads. The morning was invigorated by the lively sounds of bagpipes, akin to a spirited Scottish burn supper, signaling their culinary delight. But just as tranquility settled over the morning, an unexpected interruption shattered the cheerful atmosphere. An unannounced visitor burst in, announcing her disapproval of their breakfast presentation. Miss Choctaw, ever protective, swiftly engaged, declaring firmly for Miss Jenna to leave. The door slammed shut, marking the fierce end to the intrusion. Yet the spirit of their day could not be dampened. "Let's resume our celebration," sang Miss Choctaw, her enthusiasm infectious as she twirled Melody's little boy in a joyful spin. With Earl Grey tea prepared from the British champion's early days, sugar cubes in hand, they embraced the delightful mix of cultures, savoring a moment filled with warmth, playfulness, and laughter in the heart of Filmora City. As Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy savored their last bites of haggis and cake pieces adorned with sprinkles resembling tiny beads, they relished the warmth of their Earl Grey tea, a tribute to their British start champion. Eager for adventure, they set out to explore the vibrant city of Filmora, a place that perfectly blended calmness with a dynamic spirit. With every step, they marveled at the colorful storefronts and bustling streets, each one imbued with unique stories waiting to unfold. Meanwhile, in the heart of the preschool, Miss Trunchbull was on a mission of transformation. The painted walls, once drab and uninspiring, stood bright with new hues. Each corner of the preschool exuded possibilities, and she envisioned adding vibrancy that could uplift the little learners. As she wandered down the newly painted halls, Miss Trunchbull began to associate colors of light with the walls surrounding her. A quick flick of a switch illuminated the space, merging creativity with comfort, creating an environment where children could thrive in their learning journey. Eventually, Miss Trunchbull arrived at Miss Jenna's classroom, instantly recognizing the corners at the back that were eerily familiar. "Almost like the chokey," she murmured, recalling a time when the classroom did not inspire the same curiosity and comfort. Determined to eliminate any negative associations, she unhinged the bottom doors, transforming the grim past into a sanctuary of calm. She replaced the harsh memories with soft blue lights, casting a gentle glow in the corners where students could take refuge when overwhelmed. This soothing ambiance was far from the blinding brightness of her own home, as she focused on nurturing a serene space. Every classroom she visited shared a facade of normalcy, yet Miss Jenna's needed more than just a refresh. As she matched colored lights to their corresponding walls, the atmosphere transformed with vibrant flashes of blue, red, and green. Each hue danced with excitement, encouraging creativity and self-expression. The corridors burst with color, echoing like a symphony of lights. She even contemplated how to showcase a rainbow, determined to have every child experience the joy of colors interacting. Miss Trunchbull was committed. She would make it work, making every classroom a unique tapestry of inspiration, while outside, Ms. Choctaw and Melody's little guy soaked in the wonders of Filmora. As Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy strolled down the vibrant streets, the mid-morning sun cast a golden hue upon their path, illuminating the once chill air. Suddenly, a towering cloud formed overhead, momentarily shrouding the sun and darkening their surroundings. Without warning, a gentle rain began, falling like delicate grains of sand from above, adding an unexpected twist to their day. "We both know where that's coming from," Mrs. Choctaw mused, feeling the soft droplets kiss their skin like playful embraces. In that instant, she scooped Melody's little buddy into her arms, spinning him around in joyous delight, forgetting, for just a moment, the world surrounding them. Amidst the laughter, a sharp voice pierced the air, echoing through the streets, unmistakable to Miss Choctaw. "I work with kids and I don't spin them around like that." It was Ms. Jenna, her tone sharp yet tinged with concern. Without hesitation, Miss Choctaw shot back, "Oh yeah, I work with kids too. I help them get better, ensuring they feel well, not just them but everyone else as well." The playful banter turned sassy as Miss Choctaw unwittingly turned Miss Jenna's own words against her with a smirk. "Ms. Choctaw continued, and by the way, I know what you were doing in the school and the preschool." The tension electrified the air, both women caught in a standoff of wit and wisdom. Curiously, Miss Jenna rushed forward, her eyes wide with disbelief. "How do you know about the preschool?" she demanded. With a flourish, Miss Choctaw revealed, "Mr. Arapaho sent photos during the open house, captioning each one. Some of your corners resemble the chokey, reminiscent of Miss Trunchbull's reign." The atmosphere thickened with unspoken truths. Ms. Jenna, defensive yet slightly disarmed, retorted, "We never really considered ways to innovate. We preferred simplicity." But Miss Choctaw wasn't finished. "Don't forget, I work with kids too. No sandstorms here." With a decisive nod, she turned away, leading Melody's little guy down the fresh street, leaving Mrs. Jenna behind, who retreated to the preschool where Mr. Arapaho awaited her arrival, questions brewing in the depths of his mind. "What is the meaning of your classroom?" he inquired. Ms. Jenna, proud yet naive, explained her method of maintaining calm, unaware of the shadows her practices cast on these young souls. Conversations turned into revelations as she was guided to examine the newly improved preschool by Missy Trunchbull, realizing the importance of building not just structures, but safe spaces where children can flourish. With the chatter and chaos of the day blending into the horizon, Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy embarked on a curious adventure. The air was electric with excitement as minuscule beads began to rain down from above, creating a shimmering spectacle against the backdrop of Filmora. They knew well the source of this phenomenon, the enigmatic Mr. Turkey, a figure of intrigue within the city's vibrant tapestry. As they ventured further, the enchanting tunes of a nearby bagpipe band wrapped around them like a warm embrace. The notes danced through the air, offering a momentary retreat from the concerns of Miss Jenna, now under the watchful gaze of Mr. Arapaho and Miss Trunchbull. There was an unspoken bond between Miss Choctaw and the little one, wrapped in the melody. They found solace and joy amid the unfolding enchantments. Suddenly a voice cut through the melodic haze originating from a nearby preschool. It was Miss Jenna, lunging forth, her cry echoing, "I work with kids, and we've never had bagpipe bands near us." The urgency of her heart was palpable, yet the duo remained undeterred as they absorbed the delightful sounds surrounding them. As Miss Jenna sprinted excitedly, Mr. Arapaho and Mrs. Trunchbull kept a vigilant watch, creating a scene of curious contrast amidst the joyous atmosphere. Just as the bagpipe melodies intertwined with their laughter, the beads above grew brighter and gleamed like jewels against the twilight sky. A large, minuscule bead cloud was gathering strength, a whimsical display that threatened to blanket the sun, yet the luminosity of the beads was a heightened spectacle as they reflected light like 1,000 tiny stars, sprinkling the ground in a glittering array below. The bead storm began softly, then crescendoed into a whimsical torrent, reminiscent of beach sands cascading in golden warmth. Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy twirled and frolicked beneath this magical storm, relishing the sensation of the gentle beads falling upon them like soft rain. With each glimmering droplet, they felt an undeniable unity, touched by the joy that minuscule bead storms instigated in everyone around them. Meanwhile, Mr. Turkey's playful chaos seemed to weave the fabric of this shared experience, reminding all that within the realm of adventure and joy, connection is found in the most whimsical of moments. As laughter and music merged into a beautiful symphony, the bead cloud served as a testament, bringing the people of Filmora together under its magnificent display. As the sun made its descent, painting the sky in hues of warm amber and soft lavender, Miss Choctaw, alongside Melanie's little guy, embraced the fleeting moments of the day. The sweet sound of bagpipes danced through the air, mixing with the whispers of laughter and the delicate flutter of minuscule bead storms that swirled around them. Though the evening beckoned them home, a sense of adventure clung to the air like a lingering embrace, inviting exploration with every step as they meandered back to their cozy residence. As the sun bid farewell, dipping below the horizon's edge, a sense of contentment settled over them. They found solace in the quietude, excited at the prospect of a great day ahead, yet unaware of the unusual spectacle unfolding in the twilight. Suddenly, a mysterious blue light erupted across the dark canvas of the night sky, resembling lightning yet distinct in its mesmerizing hue. It flickered again, prompting curiosity about the wonders that lay ahead. Upon closer inspection, they identified it as blue lightning, a spectacular omen of the snowstorm that loomed on the horizon, a storm not made of mere beads but of wondrous, fluffy snow. As twilight deepened, even as others sought refuge in their homes, Miss Choctaw and Melanie's little boy nestled by the window, drawn to the enchanting display of flashes that flickered like counterpoints to the bright blue light he had turned on. Soon, enchanting snowflakes tumbled gracefully from the heavens, reflecting the blue glow, trailing the warmth of dreams from the day. Suddenly, another brilliant flash erupted, illuminating the sky, as if the universe engaged in a playful duel with the boy's small beacon of light. Thus began the snowfall, gradually cloaking the ground in a thick, white layer that invoked delight and wonder, and anticipation filled the air. The new year had just begun, yet the promise of a grand snowstorm whispered like secrets yet unfathomed. Then emerged the voice of Miss Jenna, echoing through the evening like a whimsical charm. "I work with kids, and there has never been a snowstorm like this," she declared. The whimsical nature of her statement hung in the air, causing Miss Choctaw and Melanie's little boy to share a soft chuckle, pondering the absurdity of the comment. Meanwhile, another flash of blue lightning crackled overhead, accompanying her words once more. "I work with kids, and blue lightning will not flash." The sound echoed like a playful jibe, reminiscent of the whimsical chaos in their world, drawing them all into a realm where unexpected wonders thrived in the air, perfectly mirroring the delightful unpredictability of life itself. In the heart of Filmora, where magic dances like the flickering stars, the night had set in, enveloping everything in a hushed tranquility. Miss Choctaw and Melody's little guy engaged in their nightly ritual, twirling joyfully, their laughter echoing through the crisp air. They nestled close, creating a cozy haven against the impending chill of the night, preparing for the comforting embrace of sleep that was fast approaching. Meanwhile, Mr. Turkey was plotting a spectacular enhancement to the oncoming snowstorm. With a flurry of ideas and an exuberant amount of Filmora logic, he conjured a minuscule bead cloud that billowed into the sky, a sight that dazzled and captivated all who gazed upon it. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of blue lightning illuminated the firmament, igniting the beads into a radiant spectacle. The brilliance was mesmerizing, almost blinding for even the shortest glance, as though the universe itself had conspired to create a magnificent light show. As the flashing sky captivated the city, the minuscule bead cloud thickened, rolling over rooftops and streets, its tiny beads as delicate and shimmering as grains of sand. The dual storm of beads and snow whispered promises of magic and wonder, lulling Melody's little guy into deeper slumber. Enveloped in dreams, the soft murmurs of the bead storm melded with the gentle snowfall, like lullabies sung by a loving guardian. In this dreamscape, an unexpected voice emerged. Miss Jenna, the caring preschool teacher, gently resonated with him, her voice rich with warmth and guidance. Amidst the peaceful chaos of his dreams, a familiar tune floated through the air. The strains of the parting glass, sung by the high kings, filled the void. With enchantment, he realized it was Miss Jenna who had nestled the melody within his thoughts, softening the storm's whisper with her nurturing presence. Lines of lyrics wove through his subconscious. "Of all the money that I had, I spent it in good company." The words tenderly wrapped around him, casting away fears as sleep deepened, allowing the magic of Filmora to ease his heart into a realm of dreams. Just like that, the enchanting night unfolded, cradling the city in its glorious embrace, where whimsy met tranquility and every soul danced under the glow of starlight. As the evening melted into night, the world was blanketed with a quiet calm. A minuscule bead storm swirled in with the snowstorm, transforming the landscape into a glistening wonderland. Each bead sparkled under the moonlight, creating a dreamscape that danced in the wind. The temperatures fell, thickening the white powder that lay beneath, full of anticipation as Melanie's little one slept, oblivious to the enchanting sounds outside. The soothing hum of minuscule beads tapping against the window eventually faded, giving way to a glorious dawn that arrived as a gentle pink hue spread across the horizon. With daylight breaking, the world outside became brighter than ever, glimmering with the fresh transition into day. Miss Choctaw, with her playful spirit, executed her well-known sneaky entrance. Like a gentle breeze, she whispered across the room, delivering her signature wake-up call by blowing softly into the sleeping boy's ear before transitioning to the other side. As he opened his sleepy eyes, the warmth of affection enveloped him, and he was immediately swept up by his mother, Melody. Spinning him around with vibrant joy, she couldn't resist asking about his delightful adventure with Miss Choctaw. Their laughter intertwined with the winter magic outside, forming an extraordinary moment. Curious, Melody leaned in closer, her eyes sparkling with intrigue as her little one recounted stories of Miss Jenna, a preschool teacher not from their usual school. The mention of Miss Trunchbull's similarities drew a surprised gasp from Melody, her curiosity piqued. As Miss Choctaw led them to their cozy nook, she presented a bag imbued with blue light and a container filled with sprinkles resembling minuscule beads. The fragrant haggis soon followed, a feast for their senses as Melody's smile widened with each delightful surprise. Pulling her little one close, they reveled in the masterpiece of morning. Snow, love, and an enchanted bond that set the stage for joyful memories ahead, echoing with the distant melodies of bagpipes and the reassuring presence of Miss Jenna nearby, reinforcing a sense of family that no storm could dissolve. The essence of their relationships and experiences unfolded beautifully, capturing the enchantment that dances in the corners of life.